Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Bring It Out podcast by Mr. JG1. Today we will be discussing a few things. I'm going to touch on this Homeland Security preparing to mobilize the National Guard, possibly for this weekend. And we're going to get in a little about the coronavirus package that's up, I guess you could say stimulus package. So stay tuned in to the Bring It Out podcast. Hello everyone, how's everybody doing today? Again, the subject is Homeland Security is preparing to mobilize National Guard. Wow, and it says possibly this weekend. Yes, this weekend possibly, folks. Don't know how real and true this is, but this is something I received. So I said, I'm going to share this on the podcast. So I'm just going to go into it. The letter is here. It says Homeland Security is preparing to mobilize the National Guard, preparing to dispatch them across the U.S. along with military. They will also call in first responders. They are preparing to announce a nationwide 2-week quarantine for all citizens, all businesses closed, everyone at home. So, man, what y'all guys think of this now? I want y'all to like, comment, share this information because it could be true. They will announce this as soon as they have troops in place to help prevent looters and rioters. They will announce before the end of the weekend. Within 48 to 72 hours, the president will invoke what is called the STAFFORD ACT. The president will order a 2-week mandatory quarantine for the nation. Stock up on whatever you need to make sure you have a 2-week supply of everything. And please, let your family and friends know about this possibility of these things happening this weekend. All right. So I just want to share that with you guys. So keep your heads up on that. Now, we want to kind of switch a little bit, and we're going to talk about the coronavirus package that's in place. And it's called the Jobless Aid Set to Lapse Amidst Impasse in Coronavirus Package Talks, right? And I think everybody's kind of wondering about this a little. So we're going to talk about this here. And we're going to go into this and see what Congress has to say and so forth and so on. So it says, Congress appeals ready to allow increased federal unemployment aid for tens of millions of Americans to lapse. Wow, you hear this? Congress appears ready to allow increased federal unemployment aid for tens of millions of Americans to lapse after negotiator said Wednesday that any type of coronavirus deal is out of reach this week. And this is Congress. Senior officials from both parties left a Wednesday afternoon meeting evaporated with a no hope of an agreement, capping off days of GOP infighting that complicated any effort for the two sides to reach an accord. Wow. What you guys think of that so far? But we're going to continue. We're nowhere close to a deal, said White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, emerging from a meeting with Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democrat from California, and Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat from New York. It means enhanced unemployment provisions will expire. So that money you were getting for unemployment, $600 or whatnot, this is finna expire, people. So I hope you got everything in order, because they have not come to an agreement with no kind of package deals, no stimulus package deal, according to this article here. But we're going to continue. Earlier Wednesday, President Donald Trump and Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin floated a short-term extension to $600 a week in boosted unemployment benefits. Wow, look at this. I know the world kind of on Trump about what the coronavirus and things that he's saying and stuff, but look what he just did. And this is giving him no props, but truth is truth, right? Let me read that again. Early Wednesday, President Donald Trump and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin floated a short-term extension to $600 a week in boost unemployment benefits, as well as moratorium on evictions. But by Wednesday afternoon, a short-term fix appeared unattainable, with Democrats rejecting it as a non-starter and accusing the GOP of further stalling the talks. Several Republicans also dismissed the idea, saying they preferred a broader package. What short-term extension? Pelosi told reporters after the meeting with Meadows and Mnuchin, there's no short-term extension. They don't have anything. The president's support for a short-term deal was the last-ditch push to prevent the extra $600 per week boost in federal unemployment benefits for tens of millions of Americans from expiring Friday. That benefit, which Congress passed in March as part of the CARES Act, also included a moratorium on eviction, which expires this past weekend. It's the latest sign of the frenzy scrambling within the GOP as they confront a looming cliff on jobless aid that will pour tens of billions of dollars out of the recession-battered economy. Meanwhile, the pandemic rages on, killing a staggering 150,000 Americans with no signs of slowing down. While Pelosi, Schumer, Meadows, and Mnuchin have met 3 days in a row, there's little sign of progress on an agreement to deliver much-needed relief to millions of out-of-work Americans. They plan to meet again on Thursday, and Pelosi had already rejected a piecemeal approach, arguing that Republicans should have started negotiations weeks ago. So Nancy Pelosi don't even want to have a peaceful meeting, a dinner with the Republicans on this. She says that, you should have started these negotiations weeks ago, and so that just leads to another delay, everybody. What you guys think on this? The Republicans are trying to get together, but the Democrats don't want it to happen. That's what I'm looking at. Again, I'm not on either side, but truth is truth. Democrats put forward their own bill in May to halt evictions and keep the additional $600 in benefits through the end of the year. But Republicans who released their own proposal Monday argued that the extra unemployment aid, the sensitive work, instead the Senate GOP is pushing to reduce the extra $600 to a temporary flat payment of $200 for 60 days to allow state systems to then offer a 70% wage replacement. Democrats and Republicans are in such conflict on the next coronavirus aid package that both Munson and Mellows have suggested a so-called skinny deal, which would tackle narrow issues one at a time. On Wednesday, the pair met with Republican chairs to solicit ideas from them as well. Man, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Representative of Kentucky, on Wednesday blamed Pelosi on the Senate floor for refusing to negotiate on the unemployment aid, suggesting the House would not let a package go forward unless we continue paying people more not to work. This is crazy. When it's time to actually make a law, Democrats would rather keep political issues alive than find a bipartisan way to resolve them, the Kentucky Republican said. Wow. Schumer shot back at McConnell, saying the fact the leader McConnell would even consider the idea that a political party might deny support for the American people in order to help win an election says more about the Republican leader than anybody else. So they are arguing over who's right, who's wrong, instead of going and making things happen, negotiating, and coming up with a plan to help the people. It's crazy. What you guys think about this, man? This is crazy. Let me continue. One of the biggest issues in negotiations is the price tag. They're worrying about a price tag. It ain't even their money. It's the people's money. But let me continue. Democrats are pushing for the $3 trillion HEROES Act, which passed the House in May. Senate Republicans skittish about raising deficits. Meanwhile, want to keep the package at close to $1 trillion. Another sticking point is state and local aid. Democrats are pushing for close to $1 trillion in state and local money, which Republicans oppose. Republicans instead are pushing for more state flexibility on the use of the funds. Republicans are highlighting a new report from the Treasury Department Inspector General that shows that about 3/4 of the money granted hasn't been distributed to local and municipal governments. Instead, the data and media reports from different states suggest governors are keeping tight control over the bulk of the funds. What? This is crazy, man. McConnell is also making clear that any bill that passes the Senate will need to include liability protection for companies worried about being sued over coronavirus infections, something Democrats are resisting. House Democrats have ripped the Senate GOP proposal, which they say is not a serious enough effort to even begin negotiations across the two parties. They still can't get it together. This is madness. When the whole thing is about the people. Wow. When we have a reasonable bill put forth by Senate Republicans for us to discuss, let's have a discussion about our differences. House Democrat Caucus Chair Hakeem Jeffries said Wednesday, declining to comment on GOP demands like liability changes. Half the Senate Republicans don't even seem to support the Senate Republicans' coronavirus bill, Jeffries said. It is an inhumane, cruel, cold-hearted response. Wow. So what you guys think about all this, man? I'm going to stop right there, man. There's a lot going on. But it seems the problem is the Republicans and the Democrats not coming to the table to talk even. For Nancy Pelosi not to even come to a dinner to start negotiations to say, oh, you should have started these negotiations weeks ago. What? We here now. Let's get it done. The American people are suffering. They need help. You worrying about you? How about this? Fire them. Let them lose their money, their paychecks, and let's see if they're going to help the American people then. I bet they'll hurry up and get something done and pushed. Wow, man, this is craziness, man. But anyway, y'all like, comment, let me know what y'all think of the show so far, all the episodes. Share this with your family and your friends. This is serious business, y'all. We need to continue to get these messages out. That's why I brought forth this podcast. And I hope you guys share this podcast with your family and friends. Y'all comment, y'all like, y'all download every episode. Every episode is free to download on Spreaker. So go ahead and download it. It costs you nothing. Share it. Get the information. Even if you just want to listen to it later when you have time. Go ahead and do that. But I just want to thank y'all again for tuning in to the Bring It Out podcast by Mr. JG1. Y'all have a good night. And be safe out there.